Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shpodcast.
Welcome to the Shpodcast.
Season 2. We're officially transitioning from I don't know what I'm doing to I pre-planned a little bit of not knowing what I'm doing. Andrew, welcome to the Shpodcast. We've got a new co-host. Hopefully he'll be here forever or maybe just one episode. We're going to find out together. That being said, I saw on TikTok the craziest would you rather ever, I think. I don't know if it was a podcast or if they were doing a bit, but it was just it slapped me across the face, bro. You ready for this?
I don't know. I feel like most would you rathers are just like no.
Would you rather have to deny 9/11 every time it comes up in conversation,
just like it didn't happen,
by providing proof, which is a video on your phone of the towers being hit, played in reverse?
Okay. Okay, I like.
Or would you rather have to deny that the Holocaust ever happened whenever it comes up in conversation by providing your proof, which is a self-written book titled The Liary of Anne Frank?
Now, see, these are two very good options, and I honestly have no problem with either. It's really just a matter of which one I think would come up more often.
I have never heard a would you rather that's got so much substance.
Yeah, that's a good one. I
mean?
like that. Honestly, it's one of the first ones where I'm excited to pick one, not just like horrified at picking one or the other. As good as Liary of Anne Frank is, I think showing in all earnestness, just like
towers played in reverse would immediely show that it's a bit. And it's like, oh, that's really funny that you had this ready.
Yeah, just ready to go.
Self-published, I'm talking hardback book.
Hardcover, Amazon published, The Liary
of Anne Frank. That's psychotic.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Crazy.
Do you guys want to read it? This is a signed copy.
Because you have to come up with, like that you have to write a whole book
pages.
for that part.
We're talking pages. Yeah, no. That's
hundreds
insane.
Of words.
That one's worse, and it gets worse as they start opening the book and reading through the shit that you must have written in there.
Just schizophrenia through and through. Because like, how much can you say she lied about? Like, it would be a one sentence book. She'd be like, she weren't in that attic.
She's a fucking psyop. They paid off Anne Frank to make the Holocaust seem worse than it actually was. Like, what? You're insane.
No one was hiding in attics.
They didn't even have attics back then.
I think I'm showing people reverse 9/11. That just seems like a good bit.
The 11/9 video is crazy. I saw this tweet the other day, and I think it's a little bit flawed in its execution, but I think it's got some legs. So it's from r/crazy ideas from 2 days ago, and it's an Amish community, but instead of the cutoff year for Amish stuff being like the 1700s. 1697 it says specifically, the cutoff year is 2008.
Yeah.
So you're Amish, but instead of being Amish in Butterchurns, blah blah blah, it's like you don't use anything past flip phones, PSPs, Xbox 360. So
only things that the good Lord blessed.
Exactly. So it's like the equivalent of churning butter, but instead of churning butter, you're like burning CDs yourself and making mixtapes and shit.
Okay, you know what? I might fuck with this religion. I think I'm in.
That's not bad, right?
I think
I'm
not
that crazy.
Get me my fucking old iMac that weighs 55 pounds.
So 2008.
Plop it down. I'm editing on iMovie again.
1994, 6. So I would have been 14. So I think I did have a PSP at this point. So we're talking Daxter on the PSP. We're talking Patapon. I think I had a Walkman I used to listen to radio on. Yeah, I used to play Project Snowblind.
Come out by then?
Maybe, but we can adjust the year for it to be perfect.
Yeah, I'm not as excited about the PS3. More keen on the PS2, but I'm curious.
We could make the cutoff year the launch date of the PS3. The issue is like if after 2006 did a PS2 exclusive come out that you would really want to have access to. And now we're in a weird gray area where it's like the PS3 has to exist if you want Jack 4 or whatever the fuck it is.
Okay. Yeah, it came out in 06, so it clears by 2 years.
There are a number of podcasts that suck. And I am trying to figure out if there is any sort of inherent DNA into the podcasts that don't. You know what I mean? Because the goal here is to, listen, if you're watching this episode, we want you to watch the episode. I don't want you to look at an hour of me and Andrew talking and going, I don't want to click on that. How can we be useful to you to watch us for a podcast length episode every week? You know what I mean?
Use us.
So I have been looking through some of the highest rated podcasts possible. And
Joe Rogan.
You've got Joe Rogan, right? You've got True Crime. You've got Trash Taste. You know, you've got How to Become a Billionaire, the millionaire mindset. Beef Boys, Shpodcast.
The Ghost.
I don't know if... Here's the thing. I don't think any of them have anything in common with each other. No. None of them. The only thing I can say is that pretty much none of those have just one guy talking. So, again, thank you so much for joining me on what is going to be a crash and burn. But, like, the thing that I see is that maybe it's freeing. Maybe it could be anything, you know? We could be
honestly,
Lego
that's
reviews.
Kind of what we found with Beef. You know, is just the podcast does like fine, like it does consistently fine. But I mean, the real juice has been our fucking table read supercuts and stuff. So I mean, that's honestly what we're doing. We're using those to try and get people, because we have a bunch of comments of people being like, started with Sonic High School and now I'm here. Great, glad we could get you with Deaf Lunch Lady.
Can I pitch you my idea for a podcast that I don't know if I'm ever gonna have like the real claws to bring into life, but it's a podcast called Bit Farming, right? And the entire podcast, all of the topics that we cover are just bits. They're just rage bait. Character. We play like, okay, this next bit, Andrew, you're trying to convince me that your $70,000 of credit card debt is justified, and we slowly unveil that it's nothing but donations to OnlyFans girls. Go. And then we record that bit.
Women's freedom, financial freedom from the patriarchy.
$70,000? You've only had this credit card open for 2 years, Andrew.
Yeah, it was 100,000 credit. It's a good deal.
We do that, and then we're like, bet, clip it and ship it. Instantly gets turned into vertical content, TikToks, blah, blah, blah. The next topic, another bit. Completely different thing. I change my shirt, put on a new hat, and then like these 1 hour sessions become incomprehensible. But then they turn into 100 billion views because we've just recorded 50 bits. Speaking of YouTubes, I do want to do the headline news at some point, but I just have so many little ideas that I want to talk about. The Rizzler turns 10 today.
Holy shit. Happy birthday to the
10
Rizzler,
years old
man.
to the Rizzler.
I think we just talked about this on our most recent Beef recording as well. But, man, how sad the other two guys, Big Justice and whatever.
How crazy is it that the Rizzler is such a star character? Yeah.
He really... I'll be curious to see
because he's not even a Costco guy.
Yeah,
he's a
exactly.
DLC.
He was a DLC, and he became the favorite. He's the Far Harbor of Italian New Jersey guys. I'll be curious to see if he carries it through his teen years, or if he kind of just decides like, I'm kind of done with being the guy that just makes the face.
Yeah. It's kind of, man, he's so fucking fat, and I don't.
He is.
Because like maybe it's in contrast to the fact that
With all
AJ and
due
Big
respect.
Justice, AJ and Big Justice are so like they're like buff, they're like fit, right? They like do pro wrestling and shit. But the Rizzler's
dad
like
has that
not.
like alcoholic suburban dad build where he just kind of looks like you can tell he worked out, but it also kind of feels like someone like took an air compressor and pumped his body up a little bit. He just looks kind of like bloated.
He
all the time.
He evidently had a pro wrestling career debut or attempt before the Costco guys took off. So there is a chance that it's just juiced. This is post mid-30s juicing to try to be a pro wrestler.
Could be.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, it's that guy. I said it when they first popped off and we talked about him, but there's something in that dude's eyes that just there's nothing there. He has been his only goal his whole life has been to have people
get famous. Yeah.
Go like this for him, and it's oh my goodness, it's got to kill him that the Rizzler is still doing so well.
he's gonna assassinate the Rizzler.
Yeah, he's absolutely gonna kill him.
The Rizzler, stop! Your swag's too drippy. Your bitch too bad. They'll kill you, Rizzler. They'll kill you.
Rizzler's gonna get fucking choked out in a Costco parking lot.
Is gonna be. We're very sorry for Rizzler passing away at the age of 10. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. That is one of my favorite clips of all time.
Crumble.
I can't stand those two, but goddamn, is just hitting a boom, boom, boom on someone's deceased brother funny.
Yeah, was their grandma died or something? Oh, sorry to hear about your grandma. She gets 5 big booms.
Sorry to hear about your I thought it was your brother that passed.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! 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 Boom!
I can't remember at this point.
Be. I've only
it's
seen
hilarious
edits.
Either way. Just being that dedicated and out of touch with your bit. Like this guy dealing with a family loss is definitely going to want to see me and my chubby son hit the boom, boom, boom for him.
To be fair, he asked for it. He showed up in a
He
TikTok
did
live.
ask for a boom, boom,
he
boom.
gave him whatever little cryptocurrencies they got on TikTok lives and was like, guys, please, it was his final death wish. Could I please get some big booms for my dead brother? And they were
what can this 0.05 Ethereum get me? And they're like, all right, we'll give you.
You come to me on the day of my TikTok live, and you ask for 5 big booms,
and you don't even have the respect to call me Costco guy.
John Wolf is a YouTuber, almost 1 million subscribers. Shout out to John Wolf. Hopefully he hits it soon.
Shout out, Mr. Wolf.
Recently made a video, April 12th, titled "Making It Last as a Content Creator." That I've got pulled up here. And in it, he talks about a number of different facets of what it means to be a YouTuber or a content creator. One quick segment I want to play for you right here, Andrew, is this individual who made a song about whether it's PetSmart or PetSmart. And he made a little jingle on TikTok pondering this qualm. I'll play it for you here.
Is it PetSmart or PetSmart? I need answers!
It was funny, so I went to his profile to see what else he did, and it looks like he asked the PetSmart question over and over again. Here he is, doing the song with different footage.
I got a question!
Here he is, doing the song outside of a PetSmart.
Is it PetSmart?
Here he is, doing the song on a desk.
So I know exactly what he's talking about.
Here he is, doing it
because
live for an
I'm pretty tapped into the shitty Instagram music reels community. I don't know why I messed that word up. They just spam their one song that they like over and over again in different locations.
If Gen Z TikTok editing short form brain rot bullshit has its way, that is what everything will be. Every song will just be the 30-second snippet that they dance to on TikTok. There will be no musical measures. Anyway, John Wolf gives a couple different examples of different people here who continue to repeat the same thing. My thoughts get drawn to that dude who's been doing the chica dance every time on TikTok until he gets a girlfriend. Have you seen that? Day 2090. And he just keeps duetting himself, and it's ridiculous. Look at this. I'm going to skip ahead. Day 720. He's up to like 1,200 or something now. He's been doing this for several years.
Yeah, this is a years-long project.
One would imagine he's actually gotten to the point where he's been at anime conventions doing the dance with professional cosplayers who do the chica dance as like, you know, they dress up as chica, I guess.
Yeah.
It was kind of embarrassing because he learned like a more rudimentary version of it. So they weren't even choreographed with each other. It looked like he messed up the dance that he has been doing every day for several years. We call it the box. When you put yourself in a box, it is basically saying that it's difficult to get out of the box. It's also referred to as pigeonholing in the film community, or typecasting, where you play one character so well or so iconically that now nobody can see you as anything else. Think of Draco Malfoy as a villain, Sean Bean as a hero. Any of these guys, if they were to play something else, would be like, I can only see him as this one character. Walter White is always going to be who Bryan Cranston's character is. It's difficult to even see him as Hal anymore. And a similar thing happens with content creators where they will find their first big break, and then they will find it impossible to do anything that isn't just a variation of it. For instance, this PetSmart guy can't do, he's got one song. He's like, where should we do our one song today? That will be slightly different, but still is also composed of the same DNA that went viral the first time.
Yeah, also, it's not a great song to base your, because it's wordplay, brother. It's both.
That's the thing. He doesn't have a choice. If he made a better song,
he's a slave to his own shitty song.
If he made a better song, he would have to try something different, which inherently would mean trying something worse before he gets there. And why try something worse that gets you less clicks and views and serotonin when you can instead do the same thing over and over and continue to inject the views directly into your veins? Same thing with the Costco guys. Shouldn't they be doing something other than just saying boom on TikTok live for 3 hours every Sunday? Why would you?
Yeah.
You don't know if it's going to get you on fucking Jimmy Fallon. They're going to keep doing the thing that got him on Jimmy Fallon.
The boom works.
The Riz face
boom,
works.
Boom got me to Jimmy Fallon. I'm not trying anything else. We're just going to keep doing that. We're booming on your dead brothers.
They have made revamped versions of We're Costco guys at modern Costco's doing the exact same thing, but with slightly different areas. It wasn't particularly well received. They've made We've Got the Boom, an original piece of music with their entire family. Each one of the 4 of those idiots, fine, I'll play it. I can see you want me to play it. I'll play it.
I do.
Each one of the members of the family have their own little dance. They are very clearly... We bring the boom. Sorry. They're very clearly trying to get a TikTok dance trend going.
They all have the same eyes, dude. It genuinely scares me. There's nothing behind them.
Wait, isn't this is Jersey Joe, by the way. This is a completely different guy who does TikTok dances.
Is this just something unique to Jersey then?
Oh my god, I knew him by name.
Damn. With these Jersey Joes.
Okay, I said they do completely different dances, hoping that one would catch on. They're doing the same dance, so that's my bad.
Yeah, they are doing the same exact dance. The boom, the boom dance.
The bringing the boom dance. We're bringing back the boom. Bring back the boom.
Real
what
quick, just because I think the people need to know it. Could you look up land law?
It's waking up, busting your butt, trying to earn a little extra pay.
Is this what you were thinking of?
Her out when you get off to the creek for fishing day.
It's a way of life.
It sucked. But yeah, no, they just kept playing this song and just singing it in different locations, and it was just the two of these big chubby rednecks just like in public, like terribly lip syncing along to the music video with no expression on their face. And it made me giggle every time I saw it.
They recently introduced an automatic translation feature so that if there were tweets that were going popular in Japan or in Spanish or in another language, it would automatically be translated to English on your timeline, and so there's no longer that barrier. The issue with this is that there is an unbelievable horny culture when it comes to like anime and idols in Japan and in Korea that I think my American brain is having a tough time internalizing. Can I read one of these out to you? This is a repost of something that I already saw, so I wasn't able to find the original. This one isn't translated from Japan, but the original was. And it's a video of whatever person they're thirsting after, captioned, "I would eat whatever I am allergic to just so that my throat would be tighter for her strap."
That's crazy. Honestly, that's inventive though. That's kind of poetic.
So crazy. So
that's a little
it's
poetry.
It's
I
poetry.
Fuck with it.
It's
I
crazy.
Like it.
It's poetry, bro. It blew. When I read that, I was like,
also,
what?
Username being Lesbo Rigatoni, also pretty hard.
Another one that I saw that I wasn't able to find was, I don't remember who it was a picture of, but the top comment was, "Bro, she would save so much money on toilet paper if I lived with her." Which is crazy.
They're letting it rip over there.
I cannot believe what they were getting away with without being... I gotta move to Portugal or Japan or Korea or wherever this is. Johnny Somali is a person who has been in the news. So he is... Now, I don't want to say like the absolute de facto #1 IRL streaming nuisance. There have been a number of those over the course of Twitch's history, right?
I was going to say, because I don't even really know much about him aside from the fact that I think I knew he was one of those just shitty IRL streamers who goes around causing mischief and being a nuisance.
Don't worry, buddy. If I didn't put together 40 bullet points to catch you up to par, I wouldn't be doing my job. Johnny Somali, real name, Ramzi Khalid Ishmael. Has been streaming on Kick since 2023 as an IRL streamer, basically focused on IRL travel, in an effort to be as much of a nuisance as possible, specifically in Eastern Asian countries. He first grew to prominence in 2023. While streaming in Japan, he gained headline news about his antics, harassing locals with racist taunts about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those are the 2 towns in Japan that were nuked in World War II, as well as playing music on subways and breaking several of Japan's societal norms. This guy would basically live stream himself in Japan, being loud, playing music on subways, where Japan has always sort of been known to be quiet, keep to yourself sort of thing, getting into fights with older Asian men, telling him to quiet down and not play these music and what have you, and then just repeating Hiroshima, Nagasaki in sort of a racist Asian accent over and over again. And that's how he grew to prominence, was becoming the American tourist dipshit and sort of becoming the stereotype that Japan has all these strong immigration laws against, just to prevent this sort of societal tear in their fabric, as it were. He was first arrested in August of 2023 while trespassing on a hotel construction site in Osaka while shouting Fukushima before being detained by police. Fukushima was the natural nuclear power plant disaster in Japan that to this day continues to have varying effects on the landscape or what have you.
Gotcha.
Chris Broad has a great video documentary exploring that area and the ramifications after the disaster. He was arrested again in September, the following month in 2023, for playing music loudly in a beef bowl restaurant. That is the scene that was parodied in that Content King game that I was playing. And then in January of 2024, again, just a couple months later, he was found guilty of obstruction in Japan and was fined 200,000 yen, the equivalent of about $1,400. So nothing too significant there. But it doesn't end, because in October of 2024, he started IRL streaming in Korea, fearing that staying in Japan for any longer might be a danger to his well-being. He sparked a national outrage when he streamed himself kissing the Statue of Peace, which is a sacred memorial in Korea that is for the remembrance of victims of wartime sexual slavery. So you can see why kissing that memorial live on stream might be a bit disrespectful to what it stands for.
Just a little bit.
Right. In the time, he had a number of clips going viral in which Korean stream hunters would track his location via his live stream and then beat the shit out of him vigilante style. You might remember this.
I was going to say, man, someone should have katana'd him. That would have been sick.
Perhaps Japan is too polite, because there were a number of situations in Korea where Johnny Somali would get chased down by individuals screaming things such as, "We don't play that way here in Korea, we will fuck you up." And basically every stream he would have to either hide his immediate location, or he would just be chased by guys down the street and get the shit beaten out of him vigilante style, as it were.
Shout out.
November 2024, a district judge in Seoul issued a departure ban, seizing his passport and preventing him from leaving the country while multiple investigations were pending. That is almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago at this point. In 2025, his trial was pushed to March of 2025. It was originally in January, pushed to March of 2025, and the courts charged him with additional charges in addition to obstruction of business, which was for the loud music in the beef bowl restaurant. To one of significantly more serious charges, which was the distribution of false sexual video content. In late 2024, Somali allegedly distributed AI-generated Somali allegedly distributed AI-generated sexually explicit deepfake videos. I'm trying just not to use the word porn because that feels disrespectful since it's non-consensual, but deepfake porn, right? Of famous female Korean live streamer Bong Bong IRL. This is somebody who I imagine spoke out against his antics in public, and as a result, he deep-faked sexually explicit videos of her. Korea has some of the strictest laws around this sort of thing. They have an entire Digital Sex Crimes Act that he was charged against. Pornography is also illegal in Korea, period. Like normal pornography, right? So deep fake pornography, Korea's got huge underaged K-pop idols who, if they didn't do anything about making sure people didn't make deep fake porn, it would just be a whole thing, right? It would be an unbelievable thing, right? So Somali's actions constituted a special act of sexual violence crime. The prosecution was seeking a 3-year prison sentence for this. This is the crime that really put him in a
Yeah.
position where he was going to see some jail time, right? In March of 2025, Somali would show up to court an hour late, seemingly hungover, to his first hearing while wearing a MAGA hat and making provocative claims about Korea being a vassal state. A vassal state is defined as a political entity that is subordinate to a more powerful state, effectively saying Korea is just America's bitch. You guys can't do shit to me anyway because I'm an American citizen. That sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
April 15th, just a few days ago, that's why we're talking about it, Seoul West District Court sentences him to 6 months in prison, a labor prison specifically, plus
Nice.
20 days of detention. He was handcuffed and taken into custody right after sentencing due to being a flight risk. Typically, they give you a little leeway to get your shit. The courts also banned him from working at any institutions involving children or the disabled for 5 years, given the sexual nature of the crimes that he was levied against. He will be required to register as a sex offender if and when he returns to the U.S., because the U.S. and Korea have enough relations that they share criminal charges in that regard.
Oh.
A few YouTubers, including Legal Eagle, might be a different YouTuber, I think it was Legal Eagle, have stated that they have provided some paperwork and letters of affirmation to Korean courts in an effort to try to get them to apply the full 3-year sentence that they were
Hell
seeking
yeah.
by providing instances of lesser crimes provided by other people that resulted in more jail time in an effort to make sure that Johnny Somali sees the time that they feel is deemed fit. So that's a quick catch up on everything that Johnny Somali did. Again, just IRL infestation sort of thing. A number of YouTubers that are travel vloggers, Chris Broad, abroad in Japan, made videos talking about what it's like being a Japanese person and or an American person and seeing Johnny Somali sort of like, this is what Japanese people think of us now, by the way.
Yeah. He's
If
like
we
the
go to
face of
Japan, if we go to
American-
Korea, and they think, oh, Americans are all rude, blah, 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 tourists. Anyway, I just talked for a bunch of time. Any thoughts from your end, Andrew?
I was just gonna say, I think South and North Korea should just kind of like kiss a little and make up a little bit, and they should just start sending their bad boys up to North Korea. They seem to know what they're doing with shitty people.
Does that mean North Korea would start sending their bad boys down to South Korea? And if so, would that osmosis lead to the end of times? Because I imagine if they did become friends, North Korea wouldn't be like, yeah, we'll take all your shitty people. We're already dying and starving, have no electricity, energy.
Yeah, but
our
they
cars
like
run on coal.
They like putting them fellas to work, so if South Korea's like, hey man, we got some boys ready to work,
Yeah.
I bet you they could figure something out. And then
they're
Johnny Somali just comes back to America in a coma.
I mean, first of all, I'm happy that he's seeing jail time.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, maybe it's a little bit crazy that being a public nuisance results in 6 months in jail, only because I was walking down Ballston the other day, and there was this large homeless woman just taking a shit on the side of the road.
Hell yes.
I was stuck at a red light, and she just pulled out her pants, took a shit on the side of the road, pulled up her pants, kept walking.
Nice.
And I was
Kept it
like,
pushing.
I was like, that's crazy. Perhaps a result of a failing, social economic system that could provide her with housing. But regardless, a little bit crazy, right? I would argue that's a little bit crazier than anything Johnny Somali did. Not including, disrespecting the monument and the culture and everything that they did, right? But I'm like, playing loud music, not being quiet on a train, that sort of thing. It's like, if
that's all. The cyber sex crime is, I think, really, really what kind of sealed the deal. Of like, this dude should be put away.
That's what I'm saying. If he didn't deep fake porn of a known streamer in Korea, non-consensually, against the laws of the country, there is a chance he would have seen no jail time for disrespecting that sexual crimes monument, for being a nuisance, for not just being a nuisance. It's not like if you're loud and playing music on a train, you should go to jail. I'm not Korean, so I mean, maybe they feel so. But like the fact that you wake up and that's your purpose that day.
I think
your day job is fucking up people's days,
Yeah, that's the it's like, I don't necessarily think the government should be able to throw you in jail for just being annoying, but I don't think there should be any repercussions for people who kind of who beat your ass for it. I think it should be left up to their fellow man to be like, hey, you're being annoying, and if you don't stop, we're going to beat you up.
What kind of money do you think somebody has to see to do the stuff that Johnny Somali does? Because the way that I think about it, this dude was like, if I remember correctly, like pulling up his shorts at like a beach in Korea showing off as much of his ass cheeks as possible. They're very, conservative about clothing and stuff over in Japan. Just anything he could do to be like, look at how these stupid Japanese people are getting upset at me just being normal, sort of thing. It's like, if you gave me $15,000 a month, I still don't think I could do that every day for even a month.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I couldn't. It's way too much. Like, maybe it's partially of just like what was ingrained into me growing up, but like just being a nuisance in public is not in my DNA in the slightest, like at all. Like if I'm filming a vlog with the boys or something, and like being a dweeb for a bit, like that's fine. But like fucking up people's days, I'm like, what? You're such a useless individual. Why are you sharing the same oxygen as the rest of us? I don't think you should be entitled to free air if you're that kind of person.
Ramzi Khalid Ismail has reportedly made several conflicting statements about his ethnicity. He reportedly once said he was born to a Somali father and an Ethiopian mother. Ismail also stated that he was a former child soldier in the ongoing Somali civil war and former Somalian pirate. Several sources have expressed doubt about those statements. Ismail has also claimed he has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and is a self-diagnosed sociopath. He stated that he grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, and graduated from Arizona State University, but he also claimed to have been a financial worker and a real estate manager.
Dude, I said this on an episode of Beef. Nobody in Arizona who isn't Mexican they're all crazy. They shouldn't be there. It was not designed for white people especially, but it wasn't designed for any of them. They're all insane.
Really, the culprit in this case is the Arizona heat. To be fair, he's at least dark-skinned. It's not, you won't die in Arizona, but I've heard of stupid temperatures down there. Is it any surprise that he streams on Kick and Rumble?
No.
Is it any surprise?
Yeah, like I was telling you, I genuinely don't think I have ever seen a clip from a Kick stream where I was like, this is probably the worst person I've ever seen.
I wanted to touch on this just a little bit. So that's pretty much everything with the Johnny Somali thing, right? Happy ending so far. After his 6-month stint in a labor prison, if nothing gets extended or what have you, one would imagine he would probably find his way back to the U.S., given that he's probably not going to be allowed to stay in those countries much longer. At which point he will be required to register as a sex offender, but I don't think they're going to be able to enforce taking away his phone. And so if you're Kick or Rumble in this case, where your entire thing is being the platform to stream on, if nobody else will let you stream, do you let this guy continue to stream on Kick?
I mean, it seems like they're pretty chill with anybody being on. It seems like whoever started that thing was just like, as long as I'm making money, I'm happy. Don't care who it is. Kevin Spacey wants to be a Kick streamer? Let him on, brother.
Do you get people on your Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AndrewBeef, 3 E's in beef? Do you get people asking on your Twitch streams why you don't stream on Kick?
I don't think I've ever had anybody ask that, no.
I've gotten it a couple times where people are like, Sumito, why don't you also stream on Kick? And I'm like, do you guys not watch my videos? Do you guys not pay attention to anything on the internet? There's this
I don't want any of that community near me.
There's this entire ecosystem. The only reason that Kick exists is because it is funded by Stake, an online crypto gambling casino. They have billions of dollars that they dump into being represented on F1 cars at UFC events. They spend all this money just to get you to know their name so that you will gamble with them. Kick is just an extension of that. And that's why you don't see them enforcing anything. That's why you don't see them kicking people off or having the same rules against people who commit crimes, become public nuisances, die or kill someone, or inject methamphetamines on camera. That's all chill, because at the end of the day, the entire goal is just to get you to gamble your fucking money, right?
Yeah.
Rumble's its own complete thing. I don't remember what that was, other than I think PewDiePie being a part owner, part sponsor. That was like the one website he streamed on before Kick was a thing, after getting banned on Twitch for the whole N-word debacle on the bridge.
Classic
clip. If you were going to be culturally insensitive the way that Johnny Somali is, but you had to do it in the US, it's easy to shout Fukushima, Nagasaki, Hiroshima over in Japan. What would you say here in America? Because I feel like if you went into America and just started yelling, 9/11 was fake, it's like we'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, we
we
already know that, dude.
We know, dude.
We know.
How are you offending Americans? I feel like you would just have to.
American-
You'd have to just
be
Charlie
like
Kirk it, right?
that, or like really niche down. Like I feel like if you went around some parts of like I would probably go to Long Island and just be like, you fucking wops. What are you doing? You just making
even know what this
pizzas
is.
over here?
I don't know
Wop,
what this is.
that's a Italian racial slur.
Oh shit!
Without papers, that's what that
Wait.
means.
Wait, that's so
Wop,
funny.
guinea, grease ball. Just go around there. I'm sure you could get some just some old school Italians. Like, what the fuck is this?
I feel. Oh man, wait, that's
My
so
grandma,
true.
my nonna, she gonna roll over in a grave hearing this stuff.
If you went into Jersey and just started like going to local delis and supermarkets and going, what, you guys can fucking afford to live in New York, so you deal with this? Like, if you just did that long enough, I feel like you piss off people all the
you
same.
get someone that would beat your ass. Or is the mafia really that powerful anymore?
I haven't been.
Do they
up there
do
in a
things
while.
anymore?
I mean, if they do, they've gotten better at it. I read a Reddit thread of this guy who was like, I think I accidentally went into a mob hideout, and he went to his closest pizza place because he wanted a pizza, and it was this no Yelp review pizzeria, and he walked in and he said nobody was anywhere. There's nobody at the table. He was like, I walked in and there was one guy who looked confused, and he asked what I wanted, and I said I wanted to order a pizza. And I feel like he went to the back and made it himself, and he came out with he came out with a single pizza, didn't let me pay for it, and told me to leave. I went home, and it was the best tasting pizza I've ever had in my life. And everybody in the comments of that Reddit thread was like, you should never go back there again. What the fuck? Did you see they are making a Bloodborne movie? I'm not disabling my ad blocker. Did you see they're making a Bloodborne movie?
JackSepticEye is involved or something like that.
Have you played Bloodborne? I haven't played any Elder Scrolls games, by the way.
The only one I've played through is Elden Ring. I tried a bit of Bloodborne, and this has been like 2015, 2016 probably, and it was too hard, and it was for not the one that I've referenced on the show before, old gaming channel that shall remain unnamed. It was an older one than that I was doing with friends, so we just I didn't get very far into it because we just ended up not recording anymore. But the vibes are sick. I love the game. Seems cool. It's one I would like to play eventually.
That's what everybody says. They say that Bloodborne was released, I think, after Dark Souls 3. I might be wrong. Spiritual successor, right? It is the reason that the Soulsborne series is called the Soulsborne series, because it's Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and then Bloodborne as its own thing. Somehow, despite Dark Souls being as dark and medieval and gritty as it is, Bloodborne goes even darker, even more gothic and medieval. Big structures. Yharnam is this whole destroyed area. They do world building, and I don't mean world building in terms of game design, mapping, bonfire shortcuts. Right. I mean world, like the thing you explore, the buildings, the citizens, the story, and everything.
Design, yeah, just the set design and everything. It's super good. So
I think if you were going to make a movie out of any of the Dark Souls games, Bloodborne would be your number one competition, right? But the news has started to go viral.
Elden Ring movie, which is so dumb.
Really?
Yeah, Alex Garland's directing it. He did Annihilation, Ex Machina, Men, Civil War. And now he's doing this.
I can only imagine that Elden Ring movie or TV show is just going to be like the TV spinoffs of the Game of Thrones shows, right? Because they had.
I can't even imagine it being that good, because like the shows had like what is considered some extremely good literature to go off of. So you have these incredible characters, and Elden Ring is, I think, is one of the best games ever made. Just like it's insane what they did with that shit, but there's not any characters there. As far like there's a shit ton of lore you can dive into with like the bosses you fight and all of that stuff, but it's not like obvious in the gameplay where you would go with any. So I have no idea what the fuck there, because it's an open world game. There's a million different ways you can play it. You're gonna have to just make your own story out of it, and I guess that's kind of the same can be same with the Fallout show. I feel like Fallout had a lot more.
Well, Fallout had characters, right? Every
Yeah,
vault's
well,
got its own,
Yeah, exactly. Like Vault has it has so much lore built into where the vaults almost feel like characters in and of themselves.
Right.
They have so much lore to them. It was just a matter of them kind of picking what themes and elements from the Fallout universe they really wanted to hone in on. And I think they did a great job with it. That show kicks ass. But with Elden Ring, I'm like, what the? I'm also just kind of out on Alex Garland. I liked Annihilation and Ex Machina, but man, was some dog shit. I have no idea what they're gonna do with that. But anyway, back to Bloodborne.
what was the tie between Game of Thrones? Wasn't it like George R.R. Martin helped write Elden Ring or something? What am I remembering here?
Oh yeah, no, George R.R. Martin did. He was involved in like the kind of lore and world building of Elden Ring.
Yeah, so that's why I thought like that's probably a big proponent as to how the world sort of fits together, because this like big castles overarching and then the whole underworld and everything, that's very George R.R. Martin coded, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't that's not the guy who did. That's the guy who did Lord of the Rings, right? That's not the guy who did Game of Thrones. I'm confusing the two.
No, George R.R. Martin did Game of Thrones. J.R.R.
okay.
Tolkien did Lord of the Rings.
Okay, you can see why I confused that, right? Chat, shut up. I know what I'm talking about.
There's an RR in the middle.
I feel like what they're going to end up doing, because of what you said, precisely that. There aren't any big, like, even your main character isn't necessarily the same story from front to end, depending on what you do. It's going to be like, let's take the aesthetic of Elden Ring. Let's use some of the words and some of the names of the characters, grab some of the beasts that you see in the Soulsborne games, and then just do a Game of Thrones style drama where it's all talking and politics, and then the thing that they fight, instead of being a dragon, or instead of being, the Ice King from Game of Thrones, is, Elden Ring monsters.
Big ring.
That's the... I couldn't think of a single one because I haven't played the
game.
Big ring. So Bloodborne got announced recently. Sony revealed at CinemaCon on the 15th, just a few days ago, that Sean McLaughlin, better known as YouTuber JackSepticEye, is a producer on a brand new R-rated, fully animated Bloodborne movie. A full-scale collaboration between Sony Pictures, PlayStation Productions, and Lyrical Animations. According to JackSepticEye on an interview that he did after this announcement, his role isn't in directing or writing any of the movie. His role as a producer is simply as lore master, somebody that they can reference to in an effort to try to get things right from the game. And Jack says he's there to be an advocate to try to keep the movie as true to the game's story, aesthetic, and lore as possible, in his words. So it isn't so much YouTuber makes movie.
Okay,
right?
that I actually fuck with that a little more. Just because
because this was the first headline from Kotaku. Bloodborne fans are confused about why Sony put a YouTuber in charge of an R-rated animated movie adaptation. This was right after the announcement.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's I know people want to be like, why are you hating? But it's like, it's a different art form. It is a fair question to be like, hey, this is like a really big opportunity for Bloodborne fans. Why are we putting a YouTuber at the head of it? So it is cool though that he came out and was like, hey, I love the game. Like he's, as far as Bloodborne goes, he's one of the YouTubers I think of when I think of that game. Like he's been so
that is his
involved
favorite game. He has the hunter's mark tattooed on his body. Like, if there was going to be a dude to do this that was going to take it seriously, it'd be Jack. Plus, Jack, he's not even really a YouTuber anymore. I mean, when's the last time this guy went viral for playing a video game the way that he did back 10, 15 years ago, right? He needs adult shit to do now with this YouTube experience. This is perfect
I will
for
say,
him.
though, all of his videos still pull like a milli.
I don't think that means anything anymore. If you're
I don't think it does, but it's like, I guess just as far as like just thinking on it as job wise, like he's still like completely set.
Yeah. It begs the question, right? A, Andrew, when are you playing Bloodborne on stream? And B,
it does beg
Andrew,
the question.
If you were going to direct a movie, be on set for something adapted into film, we're going to go with video games, but if you want to go with like an anime or a TV show that ends up getting a movie, sure. What would you pick? Granted, you also have to get something from the media tattooed on your body as well.
Okay. I feel like Skyrim is too easy of an answer.
Would it be
Just 'cause I
Skyrim
love
though?
that game. I feel like you could do a good HBO series based off of like Elder Scrolls kind of.
I don't think
whole area.
Skyrim would be bad. I think starting with the decapping, meeting the king, exploring the college, like all of that you could just make beautiful, like make it pretty. I would watch that.
Yeah,
I would
no,
watch that
I think
much
you
of it.
could do a pretty good job with it if you had the budget for it. Because there's just so many different storylines you can go down. Honestly, Skyrim would be fun just because you'd get to build all of the sets and shit.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun, just being on set on those, just giant sets you get to build. Honestly, yeah, I don't know if I can think of a different one that I think would be more fun. Before they made a really shitty one with Spider-Man and Mark Wahlberg, probably would have said Uncharted. I think that would have been a really fun movie to make if it had been done right.
Oh, that game kind of screams movie too. Yeah, it's very Indiana Jones coded,
it
right?
It was one of the first kind of that sort, I feel like, where it was like, this almost feels like a movie at times, but the shooting and all of that stuff was just so much fucking fun that it was like, oh no, this is still a game. So I think you could have done a couple of really solid Uncharted movies. What about you?
I don't know if,
What you thinking?
I mean, part of me wants to say a Persona game just because they're so fresh in my memory. Doing a Persona 3 or a Persona 4. 4, I feel like if you had to pick me up right now, drop me on a movie set, Smet, you have to do a good job here. I would have to pick something like Persona 4. That's the only game that I know front to back, no problem. I feel like I could maybe, if I replayed it, for a 5th, 6th time, I could do a Yakuza 1. Yakuza 1, Yakuza
sick.
0. Those ones I know well enough.
I feel like the inclination for people in the industry would be like edgy, gritty Yakuza.
Yeah.
We're doing a game, but you could lean into such a fun, like,
You could do a sitcom
gritty
with Kiryu.
comedy.
Yeah.
There's so much wacky shit in there. That'd be a really fun movie to
Now,
produce.
here's the thing. Yakuza,
And to write, like that'd be a blast.
Kiwami TV show or movie? Because there's no way it hasn't been done, right? Like a Dragon Yakuza is a live-action TV show released on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
in
I was gonna say, I
2024.
think they were just starting to do one, and I feel like I've seen quotes from someone involved. It was either this,
Like a
that's nice
Dragon.
voice crack, this or
Oh my god, why is
Some
Kiryu
other
so
video.
he's so skinny?
I will say the biggest downfall of video game adaptations is people be casting terribly, and I don't get why.
Acting potential wise, or you mean they don't look like the character?
A little bit of both. Like I don't think you have to make people look exactly like it, because I mean the obvious answer there is the Mortal Kombat movie coming out or whatever, and 50 Cent. It's like, yeah, he looks like the guy, but it's 50 Cent, man.
50 Cent should not be acting anymore.
Yeah, it's like, I know he's acted before, but he shouldn't.
Who do you think is? I want to see all of that actually. Street Fighter movie, all characters. Who do you think is best cast? Okay, so we've got Andrew Koji as Ryu. We've got Noah. I don't know who Andrew Koji is. I apologize if he's like a major actor. We've got Noah Centineo, who is from
Centineo, I believe.
Centineo, who is from a bunch of Netflix movies.
Yeah, he's from like a shit ton of the worst movies you've ever seen.
to all the boys I've loved before. He's playing Ken, which is kind of crazy. I didn't realize.
He does
I
kind of
never-
have the eyebrows for it.
I never thought about how young Ryu and Ken are. Because if this guy's playing him, that means Ken's got to be in his 20s.
Yeah, I guess Ken's a younger guy.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing, is they cast people really young. We were just talking about this with the Harry Potter trailer.
Oh, I saw that.
on-
I wish we
on
could have talked
Beef.
about that.
Yeah, well, like Snape, not even getting into the that they made him black. Like the dude just looks like he's 21. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, that ain't Snape.
Are they redoing the first movie as the
no,
TV
they're
show?
like- they're-
so
yeah,
Snape
the
is supposed
TV
to be 10 or whatever?
No,
Wait.
Severus Snape. That's Alan
Oh,
Rickman.
fuck. I'm thinking of Draco Malfoy. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. Severus
You're saying
Snape,
he's too
Alan
young.
Rickman.
You're saying he's too
Yeah,
young.
he's too
Sorry.
young. He looks like a kid. It's like, bro, this
Yeah.
is not. big, scary, wise teacher. This
Right.
guy just looks like a cool dude.
Kalina Liang as Chun-Li. Again, not an actress I'm familiar with. David help me. Dastmalchian
Dastmalchian. Yeah, it's
As-
got to be something like that.
as Master Bison. Corey Rhodes as Guy. Sure.
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 Yeah, I mean that's
Right?
yeah. He looks like him. He looks exactly like him. It's more
But
of
here's
the
the-
Ken Cody Rhodes act.
But here's the thing. Could you not get Cena? Like,
Yeah, no, Cena
could
looks
you not
exactly
get John
like him.
Cena? Look at the jawline. Give him the hair. But also, like, John Cena played a Marine. That was his first big acting
John
thing.
Cena is also like a decent actor. Like I've seen him do stuff before. I'm like, that was a good
Right.
performance out of old Cena.
Jason Momoa as Blanca. What are they going to do here? Are they going to paint him green or is he going to voice a CGI guy?
Yeah, that's the real question. How
'Cause
much of it
all
is
the
going to be
images-
him, and how much of it is going to be just like a CGI blob?
All the images are from video games. None of these are from the movie, right? This is just a graphic that they made. 50 Cent as Balrog. Did you know who Balrog was? I still don't.
No, I don't know who that is at all. I just knew that 50 Cent looked like him.
Yeah, which I think is fine. You know, I don't think this is one of those movies where they're going to take the martial arts very seriously unless the actor is Asian. I think they're going to have the girl playing Chun-Li and the guy playing Ryu. I think these guys are going to do wire kicks flying through the air and stuff. I think these guys are going to be dialogue heavy. That's what I
Yeah.
think. And I think that's what they're going to do with 50 Cent.
Also, what the fuck? Why is Andrew Schultz a Japanese man?
So we've got Orville Peck, never heard of him, as Vega. Vega's the fence climbing, second to final
Orville
boss in
Peck
Street
is
Fighter
a
2.
country music artist. Did they just find a guy who wears a mask? They're like,
Honestly,
fuck it. He wears a
perfect
mask.
casting. And Andrew Shull, by the way. Andrew Shull. Great
Shull, they
job,
spelled-
Culture
yeah,
Crave, you fuck
you
ass.
Spelled
Who
it
is-
wrong.
I don't know who Dan Hibiki is, and I know for a fact he did not exist in Street Fighter 1 or 2, because those are the only games
I
I've
also
played.
know for a fact that is not an Italian man.
Dan Hibiki? I mean, should we be looking these up? Who is Dan Hibiki?
Dan
I mean, Hibiki
Hibiki.
is a Japanese whiskey. Probably means something.
He's
Dan
a-
Hibiki is a character from
Italian-
Capcom's Street Fighting game introduced in Alpha. Dan is consistently portrayed as overconfident, arrogant, and utterly feeble character. In the series storyline, Dan was a student trained by Goken, elder brother of Akuma, who also trained Ken and Ryu. So this is Ken and Ryu sensei. Goken stopped training Dan once he acknowledged the ulterior reasons Dan has in his mind. Dan's goal is to defeat fellow fighter Sagat, who killed Go, Dan's father, in a brutal fight that resulted in the loss of Sagat's right eye. After Sagat pretended that he was defeated, Dan opened an unsuccessful school for his fighting style, Sairyo Ryu, Strongest Style. He has appeared in several sequels as well as crossover games Capcom had with other franchises. Andrew can play this guy. This guy seems like
alright,
a dork.
well, yeah, we can just. He was just adopted from Italy.
This guy seems like a dork, and his entire storyline seems to be a little bit silly. So, I mean, if they play into that, I mean, I don't want to see Andrew Schultz in more movies than he has to be, but like,
Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns as Akuma. Do you think this movie is going to play into that? Do you think Roman Reigns' character is going to have beef with Andrew Schultz's character because Roman Reigns' character's dad was the one who trained Andrew Schultz's character but then dropped him because he was training to
I
kill a
would
guy
hope
who killed
so.
his dad?
That'd
You
be
think
a pretty
that's the story we're
egregious overlooking of lore and story.
Because what I'm seeing is a WWE professional wrestler in Cody Reigns as Guy, a WWE professional wrestler as Roman Reigns as Akuma, and going, those guys are going to have a wrestling match in the movie. Because, of course, obviously they are, right? You think they'd let me play what the fuck is his name? Yoga Flame. Dalsim. You think they'd let me play Dalsim?
Yeah, I think they'd let you do that.
Yoga Fire. I'd have to
You got a
lose.
similar
I'd have to
vibe.
lose 90 pounds.
I was gonna say you got a similar build.
I would have to lose 190 pounds. Oh man, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd have to
Damn,
play.
what the fuck? That was our opportunity.
I'd have to play an orphan child who got killed by one of the guys, so that I don't have any speaking roles. Yeah. Okay. that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Shpodcast extended version and other stuff available on Patreon. Make sure you check out Andrew Beef on twitch.tv. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, Andrew. Peace.